Welcome back to the Maelstrom, ladies and gentlemen. We have another Warhammer 40k battle report for you today. Tau Empire versus Craftworlds. 1,850 points, and we are back at it with the ATC missions. We are trying out Mission 2 in the latest drafts, which I will have those in a link in the description below, as always. They're a little too complicated to explain on the camera. So just follow that link in the description if you want to see this mission in more detail. We are playing Crusade and Vanguard Strike. So the Eldar have won the role for choosing deployment zones. They're deploying in the corner with the building block there. And that will put the Tau Empire forces down here in the street. We have 6 objectives. Crusade, only 4 of those will count for Crusade. And we're also doing the Maelstrom of War, obviously, alongside that. So you can see the objectives here. I've marked them with white dice so they're a little more clear until we flip them over. We have one here in the ruins. And the ruins across the center are home to one there, one here, and a third one over there on the corner of the street. We have one in the top of the building there, and one in the street here. So those are the objectives. Vanguard Strike, the Tau are deploying first, and we will be back with army lists in just a moment. Alright, first up we have the Eldar, 1,850 points.
Alright, in a combined arms detachment, we have, leading it, Morgan Ra. We have a Farseer on a jet bike with a Spirit Stone. He is in a squad with 3, for troops I have 3 Wind Riders with 1 Scatter Laser, a squad of 10 Guardians with a Scatter Laser, a Fire Prism with an Underslung Cannon and Hollow Fields. I have a Falcon with a Bright Lance and Hollow Fields. Then there at the back we have an Aspect Host with 5 Dark Reapers with Reaper Launcher. I've got 6 Swooping Hawks and 5 Warp Spiders. Then down in front we have the Dire Avenger Shrine. I have 3 7-man Avengers in Wave Serpents with Scatter Lasers and Hollow Fields.
Alrighty, so that is the Eldar half, contribution to the battle. Alright, next up we have the Tau Empire contribution. Not nearly as painted as their opponents, but we are working on that. First up we're doing a Hunter contingent led by a Hunter cadre. We have a commander with XV, the big suit, the Iridium suit. He has a Pure Tide chip, a multi-spectrum sensor suite, all the support goodies, plus a vectored retro thruster. He is running around with 3 broadsides with high yield missile pods and smart missiles, and they have 6 missile drones with them. We have 3 strike teams, 10-man strong with a DS-8 turret, all with smart missiles, and each of them has a Devilfish transport that has a burst cannon, twin smart missiles, disruption pods, and sensor spines. We have an optimized stealth cadre with 2 squads of 3 stealth suits. They have a fusion blaster with a target locker in each squad. We have a Ghost Kill with them with a cyclic ion raker and twin fusion blasters. He has early warning override. We have a Riptide attached to the Hunter cadre. I got ahead of myself there. He's got an ion accelerator and a twin fusion blaster, early warning override. And then we have 2 teams of 8 Pathfinders attached to it with no upgrades. So you've seen the armies and you've seen the table. We'll be back following deployment. Deployment is complete. Riptide took the flank along with the Devilfish teams. Pathfinders have already moved up on their scout move. Broadside nest set up here in the center. We have the Ghost Kill on the flank, and then the 2 stealth teams infiltrated here. Hutch, I'll go ahead and walk down here since you didn't deploy much. You just have the 3 squads, right?
Yep.
So we have 3 Dire Avenger squads and their Wave Serpents deployed, everything else reserved. So that is deployment. Tower going first unless the Eldar can seize. They tried. That would have been 7 games in a row at this table, but they did not. So the streak stops at 6. We will be back following Tau turn 1. Tau turn 1 was a bloody one. We did use the Hunter cadre's special rules to run most of our stuff after moving it forward. The Pathfinders moved up and marked both of the Wave Serpents. These guys with their target locks and their missile drones. The drones took out this Wave Serpent and the broadsides got the other. The 2 squads fell out and made their checks. We wounded this squad 7 times. We fired the coordinated firepower from the 3 Devilfish smart missiles here. Wounded them 7 times and killed 5 guys. They did make their morale check though. The Riptide threw a shot here because of the building he was firing through. He gave them 4+ cover saves. Wounded 4 times. He failed all 4 4+ cover saves. Lost all 4 of them, but they passed their morale. And down here, the stealth suits and the ghost kill combined to pop this one and dump the guys there. They took no more damage and are not messed up for the turn. So that is the end of Tau turn 1. We are experimenting with a different way of playing this ATC mission where points are not scored until the start of the next player turn. So he is going to have a chance to push me off of some here. We will not have a score because of that until the end of turn 2. Or, well, I should say the end of the first player turn of turn 2. But the Eldar response with the Dire Avengers as they hunker and wait for reserves is coming up. Eldar turn 1. The Dire Avengers survivors all moved back here and made some run moves to get around behind the building to try to keep from getting shot up this turn and to hold objective here. So that is the end of Eldar. The Wave Serpents were out, so just the Dire Avengers repositioning, waiting on reserves. Tau turn 2 coming up. Tau Empire turn 2, another general advance as all the stuff had pulled back out of range. We fired through the gap here with the Ghost Kill trying to drop a blast weapon with ignores cover on that one guy we could see, but we could not get it in line, so we fusion blasted him instead and killed him. We overheated with the main gun. The smart missile systems off of these, they jetted forward, took one marker light from the limited pathfinders that could see, put 8 shots back here at ballistic skill 2, and were able to bring those 2 guys down. That was it for Tau turn 2. 4 points scored for the Maelstrom of War, for Tactical Escalation, and Eldar Response, and reserves, hopefully, coming up. Eldar turn 2 rolls to an end. Everything came in from reserve except the Warp Spiders and the Box. The Dark Reapers are in the Falcon down here. They moved up 12 inches to gather a good spot. The Dark Reapers, or the Fire Prism, and Morgan Raw and the Guardians came on here. They fired along the side into these tanks that had 3-ups for the ruins. They did one glancing hit to each of the non-primered tanks, so 1 whole point out of each. The Swooping Hawks landed here, killed one with their cluster grenades and another with their rifles, but I passed both morale checks, so the last dude will hold his ground for the greater good and hold that objective. That is the end of Eldar turn 2. So we will be coming back with Tau Response next. Tau turn 3 comes to an end. Everybody shimmied around a bit. Optimized Stealth Cadre surrounded this building, took Pathfinder marker lights from the center to go to Ballistic Skill 9, counting their special formation rules. The Ghost Kill killed everybody with his Ion Accelerator, or the Ion Raker rather, other than the Exarch, who went down to a Fusion Blaster shot. The squads then made some pretty massive boost moves and jumped back up into the building. The rest of the army scooted around. The Devilfish fired on Morgan Raw's squad, killed 7 of them plus the gun. And then the Broadside Nest took out the Fire Prism and the Falcon. The Dark Reapers dumped out in the back and are unaffected. And the Riptide scooted back here with his move. So that is the end of Tau turn 3. We will be back after the Eldar have made their response. Alright, Eldar turn 3. I think the Eldar lost more models than the Tau did. Everything scooted out and fired. Dark Reapers moved up behind the building here, fired into this Devilfish, scored 1 penetrating hit, which bounced off of cover. Morgan Raw scooted out, stripped another point from this one, and stunned it with a penetrating hit. And then they battle focused back into cover. The Warp Spiders landed here, lost 2 to the Riptide's intercept. They fired on the broadsides and did absolutely nothing, and then moved over here with their jump moves. The Farseer came on here with his jet box. They landed in the street, took an Ion Raker overcharge blast that killed 3 Dire Avengers from the green squad, 1 from the yellow squad, and brought down one of the bikes with his fusion blaster. Psychic Shriek then proceeded to hit me, and I passed my morale. After he had terrified me to leadership 8, I passed my Terrify leadership check, and I passed my Psychic Shriek leadership check. He tried to cast Guide, or he cast Guide, but he did Perils on Psychic Shriek, and he lost Guide as a power, so apparently he has forgotten that he's an Eldar. He lost the power on a 2, so Guide is no longer in his repertoire, and he took a wound. The Farseer squad and the Dire Avengers managed to put 1 wound on him before scooting back into cover. So, not much damage. Sad day for the Eldar. Top of turn 4 for the Tau coming up. Tau turn 4 comes to an end. Everything shuffled a little bit. The entire broadside nest fired on the warp spiders here and killed 2 guys and wounded the leader. Did 23 wounds but didn't bring everybody down. Luckily this stealth suit was able to put the last burst cannon shots on the guy after his jump move and put him down. The Pathfinders moved over here, shot their marker lights up here, and we put ballistic skill 5 shots from the Devilfish on the Dark Reapers and brought one of them down. So the Dark Eldar, or the Eldar rather, at the end of the game are going to decide to try to make a go of somebody surviving. Down here we put the burst cannons into the bikes with the Farseer and did nothing, but the Fusion Blaster did kill 1 bike. They passed their morale check again. So that is the end of Eldar 4, or Tau 4 rather, and Eldar response coming up for the bottom of the turn. Eldar turn 4. The Farseer finally got his stuff together. He did perils even after a reroll for his special Spirit Stone, but he used his last warp charge to ignore that. He got a Psychic Shriek off here and I rolled 3 6s, so Stealth Suits got annihilated from that. The Dark Reapers fired here, got 1 pin again, which was stopped by cover. Morgan Raw got another pin here, which was stopped by cover. So other than the Stealth Suits, no other damage. A little bit of dancing, but other than that, nothing else. So going into turn 5. Tau have it first, and we will be back following that. Tau turn 5 comes to an end. The Tau broadside nest moved up and ran. Took some marker lights from one of the Pathfinder squads and fired all guns at the Farseer in his last bike and brought both of them down. The Ghost Kill fired here into the gap on Wall of Mirrors and killed that squad of Dire Avengers and then leapt across the gap onto that objective. The Dark Reapers finally failed some saves. Took some hits from those smart missiles again and 3 of them went down. And the Riptide, with nothing else to do, fired his weapon into this building and exploded it. So that is the end of Tau turn 5. Eldar response coming up. The Eldar have finished up their bottom of turn 5. We're going to go ahead and call it there because there are no more points to be had, really. The Dark Reaper, Exarch, and Morgan Raw did their shooting here again to no effect. Still continue to bounce off the disruption pods. And the last Dire Avenger down there climbed up on the building, fired at ballistic skill 5 and rolled 2 1s, and then tried to charge in the Fusion Blaster, cut him in half on Overwatch. So, blah game for the Eldar. We will have after action reviews and army lists at the blog as always. Give us a like on Facebook and a subscription on YouTube. And as always, thank you for spending some time with us today at the Maelstrom.